Hey Rob, it's been an honor talking to you over the past few weeks, and I really appreciate you taking the time to speak to me because I know you got a million things going on, and you're overcoming tremendous odds, and you've been making great progress with everything you've been kind of working towards. Your story is tremendously inspirational. You've gone from being completely paralyzed from the waist down to being able to move your legs and to take your first steps. It's amazing, the impact that you've had on millions of people throughout the world, and I kind of get goosebumps just thinking about it. And I know a lot of people share that same emotion and that same feeling. What are your short and long-term goals moving forward?
Obviously, my short-term goals would be to continue this therapy process and continue to work on my own individual ability to take steps and further my rehabilitation. The long-term goals would be to really take what I've been able to do and help to spread the word out to these millions of people to help inspire them to continue to not only reach their goals but also to pursue therapy or achieve whatever it is they want to achieve, whether it's in therapy or life goals, and also be able to help the Reeve Foundation get this into a clinical setting that will give millions of people opportunity to help to achieve their goals, I guess.
Right. Absolutely, man. I mean, through this whole process, everything kind of happened, and your dream after the accident was to be able to walk again. So, pursuing that dream, like, what have you learned about yourself? Like, what have you learned about others? What have you learned about life in general?
Well, about myself, I've always been a go-getter and very goal-oriented and very determined and tough. And this is, I've never really had too many past instances where I've had to overcome major adversity through my athletic background or my schooling or whatever. It was just, not that I'm not saying it came easy. I always had to work hard, but this has been a whole other type of adversity that I've had to overcome that was not only physically, emotionally, but mentally challenging, and I've never had an adversity that was all three of those at the same time, working towards one goal. And so for myself to be able to overcome or work on overcoming those, I learned that I could essentially, the old saying, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything, and I found that very true. About others, I've learned that for the most part, everyone wants to help and wants to see other people be successful, and there's very few people that I've come in contact with over the last few years that, no matter what age, hasn't learned from me, and it seems like that everyone is always learning in life, and whatever that may be, whether it's about setting goals, reaching goals, overcoming adversity, or whatever it is, it's that others are always learning. They're always looking for someone to help them get through their own situation. And about life, I learned that we're all here striving for the same goals, and life is short. You need to really enjoy it and enjoy the people around you, because that's really what makes up life. Stressing about things or worrying about things, will prevent you from being happy in everything that you're trying to do.
No, absolutely, Rob. I think it's funny, when I saw your story, you're a great baseball player, and you won the College World Series. Your nickname was Superman, and
yeah.
it's really kind of unbelievable, like the serendipity and how you really kind of come to embody that nickname. Like, what lessons have you learned about, like, the power of mindset through these experiences you've had overcoming, like, tremendous odds? Obviously there was probably a point where you hit rock bottom where you're like, man, this is really difficult, and then you started to kind of realize your own strength. Was that how it works? What have you learned about mindset in general?
I general is probably the most important thing of all of this, no matter what it is, whether it was from baseball or going through the rehabilitation process. The mindset is key, not only to staying positive through the workouts and the long time periods of plateauing where I'm not seeing anything. When I say long time periods, I'm saying like 2 or 3 years long. So the mindset is very, very important in all of that. And I don't know if there was an exact moment that I realized how important it was, but I did realize as I was achieving goals through all of this, and with the mindset I was using, that it literally felt that no matter what I put my mind to and worked towards, I would achieve. And I felt that to some degree before with athletics and baseball, and the success I had with that. But on this level, which for the most part, baseball was more mental adversity, overcoming, giving up a home run or losing a hitting streak or whatever it is, the mental side, but also the physical side. And I found those two very easy to overcome. But throwing in that third one of the emotional distress and everything else, it was difficult to overcome all that. But I found that through the mindset that I was able to achieve anything.
I mean, do you believe that all people have that kind of strength deep down where they can kind of become their own hero?
Yes, I absolutely believe that everyone is capable. Everyone has that. The problem is in our society, a lot of the time, they will say, well, if you can't do it, either you're not good or you're not smart enough or you're not talented enough or you're not connected enough or whatever. There's all these things that people say, that no or you can. It's a lot easier for someone to say no or can't than it is to say yes. I've read a number of books on, over the last few years, and just one or two examples was, Thomas Edison. They estimate that he failed over 1,000 times creating a light bulb before he created it. Had it not been for that persistent thought process and that positive mindset, eventually I'm sure we'd have light, but, it would have been a whole lot different than it is today. And the same with Henry Ford and the production line. I mean, that was numerous failures to create the car and the production line, and look where we are today with that. And I think that those are two examples of business-minded guys who took that positive mindset, who didn't come from, amazing backgrounds, but had that mindset to believe they could do anything no matter what was put in their way. And I think that anyone, no matter where they come from or what they do or what they're striving for, can, with the right mindset, can achieve anything that they believe
Right.
They believe in it. And the hardest part is, again, going back to our society now, is to not buy in or get caught up with all of these people out there saying no, or that's too hard, or that's too difficult, or, saying all the things that you can't do or don't have to be able to do that, and saying, yeah, you can do it. You just need to set up your goals and structure them in the right way so that you know how to achieve that.
I see yourself as being an inspirational figure, Rob, to everyone around the world. And I think you embody leadership. I mean, how do you personally define like a good leader in your life?
I think a good leader is somebody who can help to give guidance to other people in times of when they need guidance. But also, I think a good leader is someone who will sit there and be able to support the others around him with him or her with positive words of encouragement, but also when others succeed, they also will be able to sit back. And a good leader, in my mind, doesn't always have to be up front out there taking credit for everything. I think that that the credit they receive is from seeing the others that they lead have success.
What do you think are the most effective ways to like empower young people to lead?
Being positive outlook with them, encouraging, supporting. As far back as I can remember, I've always been striving to be a leader. I was team captain on just about every team I played on since I can remember. And my mentality when I was younger playing sports as a leader was to always lead by example. I wasn't very vocal or like hyper football player, baseball player, whatever. I wasn't one in the center of the huddle jumping up and around, banging heads with the guys. And, we had one of our other team captains did that, and that was great, but that wasn't my personality.
Right.
And so I look at leading it as in two different ways. He was a leader, and I had a lot of leaders around me that were those very hyper ones, get everyone pumped up. And I was more the one who was, I'm going to lead by example.
Right.
But if someone's not doing right or they're not feeling good about themselves, then I'll go over and have a one-on-one prep talk. I'm not going to call someone out in front of the whole team, for example. I'm
so similar to Rob with everything, man. I mean, that was kind of the same things that I did. I mean, I didn't see the point in wasting like a lot of energy, because I think people are more inspired when you're kind of leading from the front. And when you step up and make that big play, everyone kind of gets that like jolt of energy, and you play the game, and it's kind of amazing, man. And you've obviously applied that to your life. I mean, what do you think like holds so many people back from like pursuing what they love? I mean, I think a lot of people have good intentions, but I mean, I could also say that I think a lot of people don't necessarily go after their dreams, whether it be due to fear. I mean, what do you think are the underlying causes for so many people just kind of going to the same job every day in and day out, 9 to 5? And I mean, how do you kind of break out of that?
Well, breaking out of that, I mean, it's obviously difficult to break out of any type of routine, and especially, I mean, if you have a family to support, it's that much more difficult.
Right.
But and that's again going back to our society, and that's what society will tell you, and that's where they'll tell you not to do it.
Right.
And because of all these, like I said earlier, there's all these things reasons why you shouldn't do anything or why people will tell you no, and there's very few reasons why to say yes other than believing in yourself. And ultimately, if you believe in yourself, not only will you be happier, but you'll be able to provide better for your family in the long run.
Are there any like particular like practices that have like helped you with confronting certain things? Is there anything that you do on a daily basis, like when you get in a bind, that kind of gives you inspiration with your own issues?
What I do is I have goals written out for everything. Short term being a week-long goal to a month-long goal, medium term being 3 months to 6 months, longer term being year to 2 year, and life goals being 5 years to 25 years. And they range from absolutely anything and everything you can think of in terms of what I want to accomplish. Not only as a person, an individual, in business, in life, in everything, in walking, and everything. And what I do is when I get down, I will read through all those multiple times. But I also read through those morning and night, every day regardless, to get the positive thoughts going through my head of what I'm working for, what I'm training for, what I'm striving for.